welcome back to Pick Up the Pieces. We're in the pickup kitchen today and it's game day. So we are about to make some amazing appetizers that we can nibble on while we're watching the game. So we're gonna start with buffalo chicken wing dip. Now, as you can tell, we live in Western New York and there's some real rules when it comes to buffalo chicken wing dip. So I'm gonna show you how we make it. So first we're gonna spray our pan here with some non-stick spray. And then what I have here in the bowl is some softened cream cheese. It's a whole brick of softened cream cheese. And you're gonna wanna add probably about 1/2 to 3/4 of a rotisserie chicken that you've shredded up into your cream cheese. What you want is more chicken than cream cheese, but you don't really want double the amount of chicken as you have cream cheese. You probably want like, 2/3 the amount of chicken, something like that. So you got to mix your chicken and your cream cheese together, and if it seems that we need a little bit more chicken, we can add it because we do have the rest of that rotisserie chicken here with us. But this looks actually pretty good. So now we're going to add Frank's hot sauce. Now you have to use Frank's Red Hot when you make chicken wing dip. Tabasco does not work. There's no other hot sauce that's going to work, and you're going to add between 1/3 of a cup and 1/2 of a cup. If you want it a little spicier, go the full 1/2 cup. If you want it a little less spicy, go 1/3 cup. You also want to add a little sprinkle of taco seasoning. This is our homemade taco seasoning that we make, and I'll show you how to make that in a future video. And here I just kind of give a little sprinkle over the top of that. That just adds extra flavor. And then this is a cup of blue cheese dressing. We like Ken's blue cheese dressing. It is the best one. And you cannot be afraid of blue cheese dressing when you live in Western New York. And also you cannot use ranch. Using ranch in your chicken wing dip is just not right. So we're gonna mix this all together, and we will add a little bit of cheddar cheese to the dip. Now you can also add a layer of cheddar cheese on the top of your dip if you want to. It's totally up to you how much cheddar you'd like in there, but you definitely wanna add cheddar. This is not a recipe where you want to be adding mozzarella or something else. So I feel like we've got a good ratio here of chicken, cream cheese, blue cheese, and hot sauce. And you just want to get that really nicely combined. Now you can serve this with celery sticks. You can serve it with tortilla chips. You can even serve like pieces of baguette and eat it that way. Really, any way you want to eat your chicken wing dip is fine. And this would probably be really good inside of a homemade calzone. So if you're making maybe some pizza dough, or you have some dough, even like crescent dough, and you want to stuff that with this filling, that would be amazing as well. So I'm just going to add a handful of cheddar and mix that around. And then I'm just gonna get this in my dish now. So you wanna bake this in the oven at either 350 or 375 till it's bubbly and warmed through, maybe about 20 minutes. Okay, so I got all of the little bits of sauce out of my bowl. I'm just gonna get that in the pan. And then you can top it with a little bit of cheese, like I said, or you don't have to. I wanna top it with a little bit of cheese today. I don't recommend completely covering the top in a super thick layer of cheese. I mean, you absolutely can, but you want to taste all of the other ingredients. So just a little sprinkling of cheddar is great, and we'll show you what it looks like when it comes out of the oven. So our second snack for game day is going to be a big pile of homemade pizza logs. Now, I'm not sure where you live if you have these in your freezer section of your grocery store, but we have them here, and they're called pizza logs. And what it is an egg roll wrapper, and it's got some cheese and some pepperoni in it, and then you can either deep fry them or air fry them, and then dip them in some marinara sauce. They are not affordable, I have to say. At the grocery store, when you buy these in the freezer section, you get maybe 10 or 12 logs, and sometimes I've seen them as much as $20. So I've come up with a way to make these for my family that it's very affordable, and plus you get a ton of them. And I make them in bulk, so that way we have a whole bunch of them in the freezer, and they're ready to go anytime we want them for snacks or a game time appetizer, or even dinner if we're in a rush. So Yesterday we went to the Asia Mall, which is our neighborhood Asia market, and I got these spring roll pastry wraps. You can find something like this at your grocery store, probably in the produce section. They'll have egg roll wrappers, and those are very similar, and you can use those. You're also going to use any kind of pepperoni that you like. You could use turkey pepperoni if you'd like, and then you're going to use string cheese. So we prefer mozzarella. You could certainly do other cheese, but it is more traditional to do a mozzarella string cheese in these. I do cut the string cheese in half, and I'll show you that, and I'll show you how we wrap them up. So first I'm just going to get my string cheese open. And then I'm just going to take these and cut them in half, and you can leave them right in this wrapper to do that. Okay, so now I've got a bunch of string cheese ready, and when these are wrapped up and ready to go, I'm going to put them on this sheet pan that I've lined with parchment, and these are going to go in the freezer, and I'm going to flash freeze them in a single layer, and then when they're frozen, I'll just put them in freezer bags. That way you can take out 2, you can take out 10, you can take out as many as you want, and they won't lump together and freeze in a blob. So all I'm going to do is carefully peel my wrappers up. And you want to work quick with these because you don't want them to dry out. And so I'm going to turn this on a diagonal. And I'm just going to get a pile of pepperoni here for me so I don't have to reach for it every time. And I'm going to do 3 pieces of pepperoni. You could do 4 if you want. And a piece of this cheese. And then I'm just going to wrap this around and pull it tight. Roll a little bit. Roll in one end, roll in the other, and then I kind of do like a little quarter roll there and roll this up. To seal them shut, I'm just going to use a little dish of water here. You could use egg wash if you really want to, but really all you're going to need is a little bit of water on your egg roll wrapper, and then you have your perfect pizza roll. So I'm going to keep doing this. We have enough to make around 50 of these, and I basically just keep going until I either run out of wrappers or pepperoni or cheese. Either way, when I run out of ingredients, that's when I'm done. So again, 3 pepperoni, half a piece of cheese. Get your wrapper tightly up against your ingredients. Roll 1 or 2 times. Fold your sides in. Fold them in again. And then roll and seal with a little water. Now to make it quicker, you can also assembly line these. So what I'll do is set up multiple wrappers. So get these peeled and ready to go. And you just want to be careful when you're peeling those off that you don't tear them. And again, just roll it up. You want to roll these tightly. Now these can be either pan fried in a little bit of shallow oil, or you can deep fry them if you have a fryer. You can certainly air fry them as well. If I'm air frying, I just put them on the tray of the air fryer and spray them with a little cooking spray on all sides, and then air fry them at 375 for maybe 5 or 6 minutes. If you want to cook them directly from frozen, you can, or you can thaw them. Either way is fine. And you just have to go based on how quickly your air fryer cooks, because you don't want them overcooked. Just keep an eye on them, and you'll figure out that probably somewhere between 5 to 7 minutes is plenty of time to cook them. So I'm going to keep rolling these, and when they're all done, I'll show you what they look like, and then we'll cook up a couple and show you what that looks like. All right, so our chicken wing dip is done. So I've got the last couple of pizza logs here to wrap up. And so it made a total of 50 pizza logs. We ended up with, we bought 2 huge bags of the string cheese, and we only used 1 plus like 1 cheese stick out of the second bag. So we didn't really use up all of our ingredients, which is fine. We used up all of our spring roll wrappers, but we even have a little bit of pepperoni left here, which I will just put in the bag, and we'll use that later for pizza night when we make pizza. So that is bagged up now and can go in the fridge for the next time we need pepperoni. Makes a good snack too with just some cheese or whatever, and they certainly won't go to waste. So just finishing up my last couple, and now I've got a pan behind me here with some grapeseed oil in it. I've just got a very small amount of oil in the pan. Like I said, you can deep fry these. You can like just pan fry like I'm gonna do. You can air fry them. A box of pizza logs at our local grocery store costs $12 right now. We looked it up, and so that's about $1 per pizza log. We figured out we spent about $19 to make all of this. It's 50 pizza logs, and it works out to about 38 cents a pizza log, which is a huge savings when it comes to trying to be smart with your budget but also have great food. So we have this tray here of our pizza logs, and then we have this tray here, and we're gonna make some right now as just like a snack before the game. And then we'll freeze the rest just on these trays, and when they're frozen, then we'll bag them. Like I said, you can then pull out as many as you want or as few as you want anytime you're ready for a snack. So here I'm going to show you how we cook these up. And so I have a little bit of oil in my nonstick ceramic pan. So our oil is nice and hot. And we're just going to cook up some of these for lunch. And I'm just kind of making sure to get the seam and a little bit of the oil. And like I said, you can cook these from frozen. If you cook them from frozen, I recommend cooking at a slightly lower heat for a little bit longer. You don't want them to explode on you, but you do want your cheese and your pepperoni heated through. So we're just going to cook these on all sides. We're probably going to flip them 2 or 3 times. I'll show you how we do that and get them nice and brown, and then we're going to serve them with some leftover spaghetti sauce that we made homemade as a dip. So see, these have just been pan frying for probably not even a minute. And again, these are thawed completely because I've just made them. If you cook from frozen, like I said, a lower heat and cook a little longer, because you do want your cheese on the inside to melt, but you don't want it like exploding out of the sides of your wrapper. And if they're wrapped really tightly like I've done here, then you're not going to end up with a casualty of the cheese going everywhere. You just don't want air pockets inside your pizza rolls, because if you have air pockets in there, then that's kind of the mechanism for your ingredients from the inside to escape out. Now, like I said, you can air fry these if you don't want to pan fry them. All you would do is just put them on your tray of your air fryer, spray them with a little cooking spray, put them in the middle of your air fryer, not the top, if you have one with multiple shelves, or just put them in the base of your air fryer if your air fryer is one of those ones where you set everything in and close the door. And you're gonna air fry at about 360 to 375, depending on your air fryer, for maybe 7 to 8 minutes if they're frozen, maybe 5 to 7 minutes if they're thawed. And see, you want them cooked on all sides, so we've got one last little side there to get brown, and you just want them cooked all the way through, and you want the cheese to melt. All right, so our pizza logs are almost done. Just gonna flip this last one here and allow that to cook a little bit longer. Like I said, you just want them brown on all sides, and as long as they're brown on all sides, they should be heated through enough to where your cheese melts. So when they're all done, you're just gonna take them out and put them on a plate. I've just put a paper towel on the plate so that any excess oil will absorb into the paper towel. And we're gonna let these cool for a few minutes, because if you don't let them cool, you're going to burn your mouth. So with our chicken wing dip and with our pizza logs, you absolutely wanna give them a few minutes to cool. Otherwise, you will certainly hurt yourself. All right, so our pre-game snacks are ready. I'm just gonna serve myself a little bit of this chicken wing dip here. And I'm going to try a little bit of that. Now, anybody who doesn't like chewing sounds, please make sure you stop listening at this point. But I'm gonna take a taste of this for you and let you know what I think. Guys, this is so good. The chicken is delicious. I have seen recipes for this with canned chicken. Trust me, you want to use rotisserie. It's way better. You can use crackers, carrots, tortilla chips, anything else that you like with your dip. But that is amazing and came out really good. Not too spicy. Actually, I think it could use maybe a little bit more hot sauce, to be honest, but you can always add extra to your serving. And now I'm going to try this pizza log. I'm going to dip it in our homemade spaghetti sauce. And that came out so good. Sadly, no cheese pull, but it is nice and hot. The cheese is melty, and the pepperoni with the cheese with the crispy wrapper is amazing. I want to thank you for joining us while we made our pre-football game snacks. It is so appreciated that you take the time to watch these videos and spend time with me in my kitchen. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. Go Bills. So our pizza logs are now frozen individually, and all I've done here is just labeled a bag. It's a gallon freezer bag. It says pizza logs on it. And I'm just gonna line all these up in here. These will go in the freezer and they will stay frozen separately. You might end up having to put them in 2 bags. That is truly a possibility. And these are ready anytime anybody wants a snack. Thanks again for watching. I appreciate that you're here. Have a great evening.